to the Unstoppable Pursuit podcast where we're pushing the limits in business, life, and health. It's episode 50. I can't believe we've made it to 50, almost a year. I'm Brian Benson. Next to me, well, he thinks the word espresso is spelled with an X, Mike Stull. And today, we're talking about focus. He wrote a book called Dominate Your Day, and he's going to dominate your day. Right?
Don't get me started on espresso. All right, so today's topic for the 50th is focus. So this comes from the January 10th message in my book, Focus. It takes a lot to see a vision completely through. We are dealing with distractions on a daily basis coming at us from all angles. Most of it is fluff, things and people that hold no value to us, things and people that could hold us back and maybe want to hold us back. You have to be able to focus on your dream, your vision, and the people and things that truly matter the most. Focus so hard you don't even notice the distractions. They are not even on your radar. You have your blinders on. Why? Because you're too busy building and living your dream. If you are not doing that right now, you are spending time on someone else's dream. Your relentless pursuit of greatness cannot be achieved with a foggy lens. Your goals and aspirations should have and I have in here 2020 vision, but 2010 is even better.
I got 2010.
Brian has 2010 on them. It won't be easy, but it'll be worth it. The naysayers will tell you that you can't achieve what you want, but they will be the ones asking you eventually how you did it. And actually, they might be asking you for a job down the line too. But you aren't doing it for them, you're doing it for you. Focus.
Focus, focus, focus.
Follow one course until success, baby. That's what Brian Benson says.
This guy listens to the podcast. Cool, man. Well, that's
hilarious.
Great reading. Hey, we're going to go through some points here. I think this is really important. I think focus is very important. It's exactly why Mike and I are here on our 50th episode, about to be at a year. We're about to be a year old. I mean, in podcast years, that's like 100 because it takes a lot of discipline, effort, and, of course, focus to get to this point.
It stresses you out. It gives you wrinkles on your skin.
Yeah,
amongst many other things. But you know what? And Brian threw his back out podcasting last weekend, so he had to get cupping done on his back.
I had to get some cupping done. It looks like a really ugly tramp stamp. All right, anyway.
Bunch of hickeys on your back.
Yeah, by a frickin' 500-pound grouper. That mouth is huge.
That's funny.
All right, first one on here to focus is say no.
Okay, should we read these and then go into a little bit more detail? Because I think that what's written on this is good.
Some of them you can read, and some of them if we feel like. But go ahead. Yeah,
okay, well,
I would summarize what this says because I think it's actually really, really important.
I think the take-home one here is they keep talking about like putting things into a 90-day period, which is what I took from it, which is true. And dude, honestly, these made me think about us, and actually I had this conversation with you about how you were trying to do 50 million things, and before we started the podcast, you were like, legitimately, I have to start saying no to certain things, to certain people, to certain situations. You don't have to do everything. You need to be able to focus on maybe like 1, 2, 3 major things, and you're going to get done a lot more in that 90-day time frame than if you were trying to space yourself out, spread yourself so thin across like 50 things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I took from that.
No, I mean, and if it's not part of something that's going to help you in any of your business activities, then you should not say yes to it. And that was my problem. I mean, literally, like, I was just saying yes to everything. Someone's like, oh, I got this really cool idea. You want to, like, help me on it? Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So next thing I know, I had 1,000 things I'm doing, and not one of those was revenue-generating activities. Many of them were just starting other concepts and ideas and courses and business and ebooks and all this stuff. So I started going down this path of doing all that, and I was like, dude, this isn't getting me to what I want. So I had to cut out everything, even my own personal coaching practice, which now I have a couple people that I still coach. But I even took out a lot of people that I was coaching. I had to cut out almost everything to really focus in on InspireLink and Unstoppable Pursuit, period. And I think that everybody thinks like, oh, the next big thing, like, I should go focus on this. I always had this like shiny object syndrome. Like, that's a really cool idea. I should go do that. But at the end of the day, like, I was so focused in on these like short little, income streams that it wasn't bringing me like the satisfaction, the long term, like the better things that I needed to do. So I need to start saying no. And I think that too many people say yes to just ridiculous things that doesn't mean, that doesn't have anything to do with them like working toward their success.
Yeah, I think that most people that have startups early on in their journey, and I kind of was like this too, is that you get excited at every single opportunity, and every single thing like is very enticing, and it looks like an opportunity, and you're thinking, no, this could benefit me in some shape or form, but it may not, And I think the challenge for anyone starting off on their journey of any kind is deciphering between, yeah, these two things are both shiny and enticing, but really like one of them is probably more important than the other. I think the thing in here that's worth reading is it says, if it doesn't relate to what you're focused on in the current 90-day window, then why the heck are you taking the meeting? So it's like most people probably, like, and even me, I would say I'm guilty of this, is I don't want to be a dick.
Yeah, right.
And say no to everyone that are genuinely trying to meet me, maybe do business together, whatever. Maybe we can help each other in some way. So that's tough. That's tough to have to say no to that after deciding if it's worth it or not to you in the long run.
Yeah.
Because you don't know early on. You know what I mean? What if you meet someone early on and they're a major key to your success down the road in some shape or form, whether it's a platform or connection or something, and you said no to them.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's hard.
It is hard to understand like what's going to be successful and what's not going to be successful and what's going to benefit you and what may not benefit you. But at the end of the day, like when you say yes to everything, you're saying no to a lot of things. So
I like that. And you said that before.
Yeah, and
that's very important.
And you're just going to have to judge it on your own. In my opinion, I think you need to just understand, like, look, and you know what? Hey, if you say no to somebody and it didn't work out, and you said yes to the other thing and it didn't work, and you said, oh man, I should have met with that person because it could have taken me somewhere else. Like, you just can't even think about that. I think you just gotta understand like who you are and where you're going, and you gotta make the best decision around that, on who you're meeting and who you're working with, and the opportunities that are in front of you. And if it's the wrong one, then I mean, you did what you did, but you got to make a decision on saying yes to the right things and no to some things that aren't going to benefit you.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time.
And I'm sure some of those decisions will probably be wrong.
Yeah.
Because you may say no to a meeting that you probably should have said yes to. But I think the point is, with time, you're going to get better at trimming the fat and just staying as lean as possible and doing what really matters and cutting out the rest. But I think that takes time. It's taking time for you. It's taking time for me. Take time for the listeners as well.
Yeah.
I think it's funny on here, he put, I don't listen, his voicemail on his phone says, I don't listen to voicemail. Please send me a brief one-sentence email with your request. This will save you hours per week alone. I thought that was funny.
You know what's actually funny about this? And this is seriously, this is kind of a hack. I think this is really, really important. When you want to communicate with people, you need to train people how you communicate. And what I mean by that is, if you communicate best by texting, then do not reply to the emails, do not reply to the voicemails and phone calls and things. When somebody emails you, text them back. When somebody calls you, leaves you a voicemail, text them back. If that's your best means of communication, they will be trained and learn how to communicate with you. And if that's the way you want, that way you don't have email, text, Facebook Messenger, voicemails, and you're not running around. I would find like your best communication method that you execute best on, and then I would train everybody to talk to you that way rather than 50 million different ways, because I personally I need to do better at that, because I'm all over the frickin' place half the frickin' time. I'm on Facebook Messenger, I'm on email. I mean, I'm getting hit and I have like 4 email addresses, and I'm getting hit with all of them. So that's something that I've really had to focus in on. But I would just it's just a hack that I think is.
You know what I thought of as a prime example is, there's been times where, and we've done it, and I've done it with other people, is I'll be text messaging them through Snapchat.
Yeah.
But then I'll be texting them through regular text, and I'm like, what the hell?
Dude, you and I do that all the time. Like we're like talking on Snap. All of a sudden, you'll reply to me on a regular text, And then I'll hit you up on Instagram. And then we're just like,
direct message.
like, wait, Mike, where are we? How are we communicating?
Oh, bro.
But yeah, I know, it's funny.
This is so true.
I think it's hilarious when you and I are snap texting, and then the next thing you know, your reply comes through my text message.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I'm flipping over. Oh, dude.
So we're guilty of this. I mean, this is...
Guilty as charged.
You know, I mean, we're still learning about all this. So this is just as good for us as it is for them.
know.
So. All right, moving along to point number 2. Don't take random, pointless, ego-inflating meetings, a.k.a. networking. The one, I want to say something about this one is, this one's interesting because, and it kind of builds into point number 1, is that when Brian had originally reached out to me, I was really busy trying to build my side business and everything, and I had just released my book. And I have told you this, and I told people at the Rocket Lounge when we spoke there, that I didn't want to meet with Brian. And I made the decision to say no, essentially, but through email I kind of was like, I didn't say no exactly through email, I just was like, oh, things are really busy, but let's plan to do it in the future. And I figured I'd just forget about it, you know what I mean?
Go back and read that email.
But Brian was very persistent about meeting with me, so he followed back up on the email again, and I thought, okay, I'm going to take this meeting with him at Starbucks, and we met, and we're just talking about business and, you know, getting to know each other and everything. And so now we do this podcast. So that's kind of an example of how, like, I made the wrong decision at first, but it did come back around full circle. And that can happen.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
if you make a mistake or something.
Right. And like, but at the time, like, I just wasn't a priority for Mike, which is totally cool. So it says here, like, I roll my eyes at people who think they're getting things done when in reality, they're just making sure competitors absolutely trample them for the lack of execution and prioritizing the wrong things. At the time, like, I don't take it personally. Mike was pushing his book. Mike was getting more clients and things. Dude, I'm just some guy to meet with. Clearly, Mike had to say no. He was focused on his stuff. He was prioritizing, and that's totally cool with me. I stayed persistent, and it did come back around, and now we're doing this podcast. But when you really put it in that context is you had your own focus on what you needed to do to be successful, and I was not a piece of that puzzle at the time, and that's what you had to do. So other people need to realize that network with purpose, network for the right reasons, and at the time Mike was not ready to meet with me, but then he came around and he was ready to meet with me, so he was networking with a purpose. I wasn't going to do anything with him or help him in that exact moment, but then when I followed up, he was ready to meet with me. We stayed in touch. We started to help each other. And then now we're doing a podcast together. So just understand that, like, network with a purpose. Stop going to these fucking meetings and this bullshit, these meetups and these group outings and these charity events and all this stuff. If it's not going to help your business, like, be a little selfish in networking. I'm sorry, but you have to be. I always tell people, I tell people this all the time. When I was in the insurance business, I went to, every night, in season, down here in Naples, Florida, you can go to an event every single night. I was going to events every night. And I was so, like, just walking around, meeting people, blah, 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 blah. Dude, half of them didn't, more, I would say 75% of them didn't turn into shit. It was not purposeful networking. It was more like I was going and drinking and having a good time with people, but it didn't do shit for my business. And dude, like, I'm 30 now, like, I don't have time to run around and network and bullshit with people that's not going to help me get to where I want to go, and it's not going to align me with people. It sounds selfish, but dude, this is fucking business.
Yeah, well, and you're taking it personal now, which is a good thing, because if you do start looking at it personally, that your competition now is wanting you to go to all those ineffective meetings and wasting your time. Meanwhile, your competition is actually focusing and executing, and they're trimming the fat and they're staying lean. Like, start taking it personal that it is a competitive vibe there, and your competition wants you to go and waste your time.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
So you do need to take it personal, have that chip on your shoulder.
Yeah. All right. Don't take on busy work.
I want to read this one, actually, because I like this one, too. Stop bullshitting yourself that you're being productive when you know that you're not. If it doesn't align to what you need to achieve in the next 90 days, which we talked about before, then you are fooling yourself. So I think for this one, again, like, when I read through this stuff, I started to kind of actually think about what my game plan is for 90 days out in advance, you know. and what needs to be done, because it really, honestly, I used to do a ton of busy work when I was doing my own side business, which wasn't as successful as I wanted it to be. And looking back on it, I could have been way more effective and I would have done things differently. I can't change that now, but there is definitely a difference between busy work and actually I would say like maybe our Instagram. Like I was posting on Instagram, but we weren't adjusting on Instagram, and our account really wasn't growing as fast as what we wanted to, so we made some adjustments. And now actually when I'm on our Instagram account, I actually feel like I'm doing legitimate work because now it's growing. Like before it was a routine every day just to post my 3 pictures. You know, the pictures are great, they had a nice message, but it was more busy work. Now I actually feel like I'm being more effective with it. That's just an example that comes to mind for me.
No, and I think, and you know, to be honest, it's such a great example because, like, if it's not growing and if it's not moving forward, it's the definition of insanity, my friends. You are doing the same shit over and over and over, and it's not working. You got to change. You got to adjust. You got to adapt. You got to change things to get into a growth mindset and a growth mode in your business and your life and in health. Like all the things we talk about on this podcast. Like if you're stuck at the gym and you're lifting the same weights, you're not getting bigger, you're not in the position you want, you're plateaued, dude, then you got to change it up and stop just going to be busy to say, I went to the gym. Like if you want the results and you want the things that you need, then you need to up your game and change some shit up and do stuff differently. Mike can probably talk to you more about that than I can, but I noticed that even in my own workout routines. It was like I was plateauing and I was doing the same lifting, the same type of workouts, and I was getting to a point where I wasn't even getting sore anymore.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's exactly this. It's like doing just the stuff to be busy, doing just the stuff to say that I'm at the gym, doing the stuff that said that I'm just doing this. It's like, dude, if you're going to do it purposefully and do it in a way that you're going to see growth.
Yeah.
Stop doing just bullshit busy work.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to adjust, because we've had to adjust with this podcast. We've had to adjust with so many other things. But the gym thing is a good example, because I would get people that would come to me, a lot of females, and they would be like, well, you know, I'm not really seeing any changes in my legs. And I'm like, well, what's your leg workout? And they're like, well, every leg workout I do lunges with 5-pound weights. And I'm like, well, how long have you been using the 5s for? Oh, I've been using the 5s for like 6 months. And I'm like, you need to go up to like 8s and then go to 10s and 12s and 15s and keep progressively adding stimulation that your body's not used to. So don't be afraid. I mean, there's so many variables with the gym example, and it actually makes me think about business. Like we made an adjustment on our Instagram. Our Instagram is starting to grow now. But as far as the gym goes, like I would say to that person, okay, increase weight. Why don't you switch up your reps? Why don't you go a little slower in your reps? Why don't you go a little bit more explosive on your reps? Why don't you switch up the angle? You can do an incline press, a flat press, a decline press. You can do 50 million different exercises. You can switch up the cable attachment. You can use bands instead of free weights. I mean, I'm bringing up all these variables because there's so many different things that you can change to make sure you progress. Mm-hmm. Just with health and wellness, you know, so that's making me kind of think about just business in general, that there's probably more variables than you actually realize when you think about it. Take a step back, that, you know what, we can make an adjustments here or there. Because most people would say, well, you know, we are doing everything we can do. And chances are you probably are, but there's a few variables that you could change.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that kind of got me thinking a little bit on the health and wellness one especially.
No, I mean, and that's exactly what it says here. If it doesn't align with what you need to achieve, and that's the main word, in the next 90 days, then you are fooling yourself. What are you trying to achieve? If you are trying to achieve bigger mass or looking more toned or whatever, then stop just doing the busy going and change it up and put a little bit more effort. Yeah, you're just going through the motions, man.
I tell people, if you want to look like an Olympic sprinter, then you need to train like an Olympic sprinter.
Yeah.
They're very muscular, they're very ripped, they're very explosive and powerful, strong, you know, so you need to train in that manner. Like, so for me, like, I don't do a lot of long distance cardio. Lately, I've been doing all high intensity interval training, so I've been doing the Airdyne bike, 15 seconds all out like a sprinter, 15 seconds rest, repeat. I don't do a lot of long distance cardio. So you have to work according to your goals. You have to train in the gym and eat outside of the gym according to what your goals are. That's an awesome point.
Yeah. Get your to-do list in order every day.
I've actually been doing, I can honestly say I've been doing this for myself. Now, the way I do it is probably the most inefficient way to do, but I like it that way, is I text message myself on the iPhone.
Oh, nice.
I don't put reminders. I don't do the task list or anything on my phone, so the top text message is me. And I text myself whatever it is, and so my text is always at the top of my text message, and if you hold your finger on it, it'll pop up. You can delete it. It'll delete the two messages, the one you sent and the one that came back to yourself. And then I do that throughout the day. And I've been doing that just for little stuff, to pay bills, whatever it is, whatever my goals are, I've been doing that. That's probably not the most efficient way for most, but that's helped me on my to-do list.
Yeah, but you know what I like is, dude, it's your way and it works. So it doesn't matter. It's like, so if that's the most efficient for you, who cares what anybody else thinks? Me personally, I have to write everything on my calendar. If it is not on my calendar, I'm sorry if people have missed meetings or phone calls. If I don't put it on my calendar, I'm forgetting, because I'm so focused on doing the things that I need to do for my business that like perfect examples, like this morning, I dropped my son off every day at my mom's, and she told me I had this doctor's appointment, so I'm going to have to drop him off later. Dude, sure enough, I didn't put that on my calendar. I drove over to my mom's with my son. I got there, I'm like, shit, nobody's home. Like,
yeah.
But you know what? It wasn't on my calendar because I was just thinking like, oh, I got these phone calls I have to do today. I have to do all this stuff. So for me, the to-do list is, it has to be on my calendar, or else it's not going to happen.
And I'll tell you, people, Brian is so serious about that we were in the other office the one day, and it was like probably, I don't know, it had just hit, no, actually it was 6 p.m. And we had our phones set up. We were getting ready to go live on the podcast, and at 6 p.m. a message came up on his phone, and it said podcast. And I'm like, I think that's funny. Like, even for the podcast, like, he has reminders popping up on his phone, even though it's something that's, religiously done usually every Thursday, every week. He has that pop up. So, what works for one person may not work for other, but do what works for you.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
I'm not really sure how to really go about
Pomodoro, like no tomorrow. What does Pomodoro mean? Let's read this.
Yeah.
You can read about it elsewhere, but for tasks where I can't always time box something, things like writing, I will put on my to-do list 3 Pomodoros. Often the hardest thing to get started on a task is that initial resistance. So forcing yourself to sit for 25 minutes on one thing can open up a bit of a flow state, quote unquote. I find when I do this, I forget to take breaks at this point because I don't need to.
This is a great. You guys all need to read the book, The War of Art. It's all about the resistance and how to move past the resistance, because resistance is really, really powerful. Resistance is that thing that's in the back of your brain basically telling you that it would be more pleasurable for you to go sit down and watch Impractical Jokers or TV rather than spending time writing your book or doing the thing that you need to do. But sometimes that thing you need to do isn't the thing you want to do. Mm-hmm. So pushing through that resistance, and basically this is just saying kind of what I just said, is schedule time for that activity in a meaningful way. Be very purposeful about it. It's like when Mike was writing his book, I'm sure you scheduled out time. You said, I'm going to Starbucks at this time on these days, and I'm going to write for this amount of time.
I was very religious about it.
Yeah, but you put it it was very calculated, very strict.
7 to 10:30. 7 a.m. to 10:30. After that, I did not write. That was my writing time, 7 to 10:30 at Starbucks.
So you pushed the needle forward every single day, but you had it in a very strategic manner. So that's what you have to do. When you need stuff to get done, it's really helpful to schedule that stuff, just like Mike did, and knew it was 7 to 10:30 every single day. So there was like an accountability to it, that you knew, even though some days you probably woke up and were like, dude, I've been writing every day, I'm out of ideas, writer's block, blah, blah, blah. You still force yourself, even if you wrote 10 sentences, you still got something done.
Yeah, I mean, some days honestly, I experienced writer's block at one point in time, and I think I went a week or two without writing anything. I shouldn't say anything. I'd go in and I'd probably write like maybe 2 or 3 days worth, which, in a daily devotional is not very much.
No.
I mean, it was like literally a couple sentences.
And those are probably going to change,
Yeah, so I just needed to do it, though, to keep myself in the flow.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. All right, this one is use headphones. This is actually kind of interesting, but studies tell us that the biggest killer of productivity conversations in an open office environment. Block that shit out. I can't reiterate how good headphones are for focusing. He gives an example of headphones, but if you're on a budget, any headphones will do.
I think this is interesting because like co-working space, open office environments like the big thing right now,
I know.
You have Rocket Lounge, you have Venture X. I mean, like the big companies like Facebook and Google do this. But I think it's true to a certain extent. I think some people are really productive in that type of environment. I think other people legitimately need office walls or cubicle walls, or headphones. Like, I mean, for example, like when I'd go in Starbucks, it helped me out to put on headphones. I didn't have music blasting, but I did have some sort of music going. But it's funny though. One of the other points on here I saw, did it talk about having lyrics but just only music?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like I was very productive listening to like electronic dance music, EDM, without lyrics. It was just a constant flow of things, and I was good writing to that and getting work done to that. I'm not good at listening to music on my headphones, getting stuff done if it has a ton of lyrics.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I think I'm okay in co-working space. I think it could be distracting, but I think I could thrive on it too because I like that type of atmosphere. I do not like being in a cubicle.
No.
I want open space. I want to be able to breathe. That's where I'm most productive.
Yeah, I thrive on that too. But actually walk through a co-working space, a lot of people are wearing headphones. There's a lot of people that do it. For me, like, I know when I have like pre-interviews and questions I have to get out to people, number one thing is I put on my playlist, I put my headphones on, even in my quiet ass office, I'm in my own office, I still put my headphones on and jam out, and I just crush it. And here's a very interesting thing about music and why you like get really productive in this. Did you know that Target does not play music when you walk through, and people spend more time and money in Target than they do at other stores because they play music?
I guess I never noticed that.
Yeah, because they make it so quiet in there. You got to you look at things, you're distracted, you're walking around. Music keeps you pumping, keeps you going, so you're like, oh, I got to get my groceries, I got to grab this, I got to get out of here.
That's so funny.
Target does not use music, and people spend more money and more time in Target.
Wow, that is interesting. Come to think of it, actually.
Because
why would Lindsay? I'm putting 2 and 2 together now.
I know.
Why? No, because like girls always say that. Girls always post about it, and they're like, "Well, I just went to Target to blow time and walked around, and I accidentally spent $100 or something."
I can tell you,
Lindsay will text me, and she'll say, "Oh, I'm going to the gym, and then I'm going to go to Target and walk around for a little while." Like now that I think of it, like when we're in Target, we do. It's kind of quiet and chill, especially later at night. I guess I never noticed that without the music. But damn, yeah, we do spend money in there too.
A lot more money
wow. Take note of that. That's interesting. Now that I think of it, yeah. Because, dude, you go in like an Abercrombie and Fitch, which I haven't been in since I was in like 5th grade. But like, dude, that music is so loud, bro.
I know. And you're like, gotta grab my jeans, I gotta buy them, and I gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But Target's like, shut the hell up, it's so quiet, dude. You're walking around, you're like, you think about what you're looking at, like, you're not listening to music and like moving along. So
that's
you're not like
even,
you're not even focused. Think about how, go to Target with your wife if they're anything like Therese. You will go into Target. You'll be walking through like the home section, and then it's all of a sudden you're in the bedding, and then you're in the kids' clothes section, and then you're in the toys, and all of a sudden you're just like, dude, what the hell? How did I get to all these different places? It's not like I'm going to Target to pick this up. It's like I'm going to Target, and oh my God, what's that over there?
Yeah.
And it's like
Lindsay does that, man.
Next thing you know, I'm walking out with like 4 shirts and a freaking.
That is too funny, man. That's a big eye opener. Right? Wow, that is the big take home message from this segment. I'm like mind blown on that because I'm connecting the dots now, and I just find that so intriguing from a business standpoint. Because Lindsay does it all the time. She's like, I went to Target, and she'll come home, she'll have like 2 or 3 T-shirts for me. She's like, oh, I bought some T-shirts for you, and then we'll have like wet wipes or something, and like, you know what I mean?
I know, and you're like...
Kitchen towels, and I'm like, what the hell?
And you're like, wait, how did you go from going
so
to Target to just get this and come back with all of this? It's insane.
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow.
All right. This one is number
you
7.
Take this
yeah,
one.
this is Brain FM. But what we want to talk about here is like, this is it's a service that basically helps you like think and stay focused. You can just listen to it. But some things that help me, I use Calm.com or Headspace. These are Calm and Headspace are both meditation apps. They really help you stay focused and stay clear and things. So basically, this is just something that can help you stay focused. So it's just a service. There's a million of them out there. I use Lumosity. You can use Lumosity every day to stay focused. Brain FM, Calm, Headspace. There's a lot of them out there, but it's just a little hack or something that you can just try and give it a whirl and see if it helps you stay more focused. And I know a lot of people that do and use those to really get in the zone and get shit done. So.
Dude, you know what else though? You know what I heard too? Someone was telling me about a website called Unstoppable Pursuit.
If you check out Unstoppable Pursuit, it'll help you stay focused. You gotta listen to that podcast. Actually, that's another
so
one. Brain
funny.
FM. You could use podcasts if you want to. So, song anchors. Okay, if you like to, if you have song anchors, which is just listening to one song on repeat, like a maniac for a few hours on end. Some people say don't use songs with lyrics in them. I find it doesn't make a difference. So,
the one thing that I'd like to say is, you've heard of Kygo, right? He's kind of like a David Ghetto
David Ghetto?
I'm sorry.
David Guetta?
David Guetta, sorry. David Guetta.
You ever listen to that David Ghetto guy?
Sorry. I was having a hard time pronouncing that. David Guetta and...
like espresso?
Yeah, exactly like that. No, there's another... who's the other mixtape person that does that? David Guetta and...
Oh, there's a million DJs out there.
Yeah, another one of the popular DJs, but Kygo's like that. He remixes a lot of music.
Yeah.
Dude, if you go on YouTube, he'll have songs on there that go on for like an hour and a half. And they just keep going and going. And like they really put you in a trance, and like they don't have any lyrics. A lot of them do. Some of them don't, some of them do. That's the one that, dude, I wrote the book to Kygo.
Yeah.
Like literally, like his music is awesome. That's been one of my song anchors. I even put some of his shit on at the gym because I don't want to have to go through Pandora and keep skipping through, or through YouTube or whatnot. So I put on Kygo on YouTube, like mixtape, summer mixtape or something. Dude, you can just, I mean, you vibe out to it, dude. Yeah. I like it. David Guetta. I fucked that up. I knew what his last name was, but I was having a hard time pronouncing it. David Ghetto as fuck. David Guetta drinking that espresso.
Oh God,
that's so funny.
And yeah, for me, I really like indie pop or like indie any kind of indie like music.
You seem more like a Third Eye Blind type.
Yeah, no, punk music gets me really into it. I do. I still love Third Eye Blind, but yeah, I'll find songs that even if they have lyrics like that, just are like catchy vibe that make me feel good, that keep me happy, and I'll just put on repeat. I've done that. I got a song in my car right now, and I can't even think of the name of it.
I know what it is. It's DJ Khaled featuring Justin Bieber.
Oh,
I'm the one.
Only one was actually on my repeat like forever. So yeah, I love that song. Shout out to Khaled, Grateful Yo.
What's up? Another one, Major Key. Bless up, Khaled. Bless up. Shout out to your son. Shout out to your son, Assad.
Assad.
Executive producer. Shining. The next one is exercise. For this one, I can honestly say for me, dude, exercise right now for me, and I think this will be like this my entire life, is if I don't get in exercise, man, exercise is just as important to me as brushing my teeth, taking a shower, eating food. Like if I don't exercise, dude, I do not feel good about myself. It is part of my daily routine of my life. You know, that's how important exercise is. It's a great outlet for me, stress reliever. If I don't exercise, my day feels off.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. It's just part of who I am. It's my thing. When I go to the gym, I've gone to the gym stressed out and I leave and I just feel so much better. I don't know. Things fall into place. I feel better. It's kind of like my Xanax or something like that.
Yeah.
For me personally.
No, I mean, I've had to take a little bit of a break from that, but for 3 years, I mean, it was very, 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 very important for me to exercise every day. I'm going to get back into it. I do miss it, but it's a big stress reliever. It is something that I think when I do, like, I'm really focused. And that's why I used to work out 5 a.m. in the morning, because I felt focused all day long. I, like, hit the gym hard. I felt good.
It's too bad you couldn't get back into that, you know.
I know. I'm working on
Maybe
that.
Someday eventually.
It's just like it's just tough right now. I mean, I will definitely. I just got to even just be more disciplined. Just do homework out. Work out at home. I mean, it is what it is. But
or your lunch break or some shit
is super, super, super important. All right. That's it.
That's it. Go listen to David Ghetto.
Go listen to David Ghetto and move on. So, the challenge is just one of these. Do one of these to get focused in your life. Get focused in on something. So either say no to something or start exercising. Use headphones or find that song anchor. Find that one thing in your life that really helps you stay focused. Start scheduling things in your calendar. Go through your to-do list. Whatever it takes. I mean, you can do any of these, but get a focus routine going and just try something. I think it's really, really important for you in business life and health. So get focused, but try one of these techniques. We talked about a shitload of them today, so I can't imagine you didn't walk away with something that you can try to get focused with.
Yes. And since we're all busy and we have crazy schedules, the health tip is referring to people that are really on the go. A lot of people ask me if they're out and about or they're driving, what can they eat? Because obviously you're driving in a car. And I tell people you can literally stop at any gas station, grab a RTD, ready to drink protein shake. They always have nuts and seeds there, like almonds. So stop into a gas station, grab like an RTD, grab one of their bags of cashews or almonds, and it says the perfect snack for on-the-go people is a handful of almonds or walnuts. Always have them in baggies in your vehicle or stop at a gas station. They are packed with protein and healthy fats, both of which will starve off hunger and keep you feeling full until you can eat a meal. So I tell people, have a large handful of almonds, walnuts, cashews mid-morning. Do the same thing in the afternoon. The question at the bottom says, if you ever wondered, does your metabolism increase when adding muscle to your body? Yes. Muscle tissue is very metabolic and will increase your metabolism. Metabolic muscle tissue can burn fat up to 8 times greater than what fat does. So like that's why you need to, as a male or female, add muscle to your body, because muscular might could be 8 times more metabolic than non-muscular might. Okay, so the goal for everyone should be add lean muscle. Join our 21-day challenge.
Yes. Check out our 21-day challenge. I was just about to bring that up. Check that out. Go to www.unstoppablepursuit.com/challenges. You're going to love it. It definitely is going to help you become unstoppable. Mike and I put a lot of time and effort into it. It's an email challenge. You're just going to get 21 days of emails in. And really, it's great stuff. There's health tips, there's motivation, there's inspiration. There's a challenge every single day. So I promise you, we will not steer you wrong. You will love it. Other than that, please thank you so much for everything, and please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. We would so much appreciate that. Thank you all. We love you, and we will see you all on the next episode. 50 in the books, bitches. Woo!